Well, let's talk about what the Prime Minister had to say in a sort of pooled interview. He was asked about a huge number of topics while out on a trip to a hospital yesterday. And when he said that, yes, biological males should not compete in women's sport. He also defended the government's move in their ban on gay conversion therapy, not to include a ban on trans conversion therapy because of the concerns that you won't even be allowed to have a conversation with someone who believes they may be trans, including children. And the dangers of that are happening. Well, let's talk to Fiona McAnena, who's head of the sports campaigns at Fair Play for Women, who've been campaigning on a number of these issues for a number of years. Good morning to you, Fiona.
Good morning, Julia.
This is a wonderful victory for common sense, but it is extraordinary that it's front page news. It is literally on the front page of the Daily Mail today, a voice of common sense. The Prime Minister stating something which 99% of people would know was a given.
Absolutely. Everybody knows it. Women's sport is for female people. Who would have thought we needed the Prime Minister to tell us that? And it's not a consolation prize for people who think they can't win in men's sport. And it doesn't matter how they feel. It doesn't matter how big or small they are. It doesn't matter what their testosterone levels are. Yep. They don't belong in women's sport. And we are looking forward to getting it back.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen this across the board. I mean, lots of people saying, oh, look, this isn't happening. Why are women getting themselves in a state about this? Again, patronising much. But, we had that with Laurel Hubbard competing in the women's weightlifting in the Olympics, and that was really just the start. We've already had, I remember Kent Women's Cricket Player of the Year, I think last year, was a biological man. I mean, I'm saying, for Ofcom reasons, I'm saying biological man. A man who claimed he was a woman. But a man. I mean, if you're born a man and you've still got all your tackle, even if you haven't, you're still a man. And we can be respectful and we could be compassionate towards people and certainly non-discriminatory towards people who it must be incredibly hard to think that you were born in the wrong body and to have that gender dysphoria. I can't believe how terrible and difficult and upsetting that must be for people. And I've got nothing but compassion. But that doesn't mean we then relinquish long-established rights of women.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we really don't know what anyone else is feeling. The bottom line is that women also have feelings. We care about fair opportunities in sport. For some, it's a profession. For some, it's a relief from their own emotional trauma. Sport's important for everyone. So if people say it's important for trans people after all they've been through, we'd say, yeah, we understand why that is. We love it too.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be, the inevitable outcry. People actually talk about this being transphobic, to say that women's sport is only for women. I've even seen some people who I consider largely pretty sane on most things who say, yes, but you say biological males, but someone who has undergone surgery or a man who's undergone surgery or chemical treatment, but testosterone levels taken down, they could also be included. Why would that not pass the grade for you?
Yeah, because male puberty is a one-way street. You cannot undo male puberty. It's like boiling an egg. You can take it out of the hot water, but you cannot unboil the egg. And whatever those male people do to their bodies, and however impaired they might be in their sporting performance, they've been through male puberty, and people like you and I have not, and that's why we have our own category and our own sports and our own events.
It is very strange that in the trans debate, again, I don't think there is that much of a debate among the vast majority of people, because I think the vast majority of people want, again, non-discriminatory policies towards trans people, except where discrimination is relevant and necessary. And we do have discrimination where it's relevant and necessary, where we don't offer cervical smears to men and we don't offer prostate cancer treatment to women because because it's not relevant. And so it's when it's relevant. And this thing, we've had all this debate about, women's toilets, women in hospital wards, women's sport, whether we talk about women as, was it chest feeders instead of breastfeeders or cervix owners and all of that. Just people who are pregnant, women being sort of wiped out of existence or redefined. Why have we not seen that happen to men? Because there is no male cancer charity that talks about, people who have prostates or people who have testicles. This only happens to women. Why is it only happening to women?
Well, that's a great question. And you're right about the charities. We see the prostate cancer charity with campaigns saying men matter, and we agree with that. Of course they do. So you have to wonder why it's anti-trans to speak about ourselves, to speak about women, and simply to speak about our own reality, because we're not even talking about them when we're talking about women or talking about cervical smears or breastfeeding or whatever. So yeah, that's one of the reasons, Julia, why we campaign for women to be remembered and properly considered in policy that affects us.
Do you think that Boris Johnson saying what he had to say about biological males, and also on trans conversion therapy, do you think that is sort of the start of the comeback of a sensible debate on this? Because we've had people like Keir Starmer saying a woman is a woman, but also a man who says he's a woman. We've had, Supreme Court judge nominees in America who apparently say because they're not a biologist, they can't define what a woman is. I mean, we've got a madness going on there. But in terms of like the gay conversion therapy and the trans conversion therapy, do you think we are finally getting to just a little bit of common sense?
I do. It's a great relief. And the conversion therapy issue is a really, really critical one, because it affects children who may be just unhappy about their sex body. You know, if I give you a couple of examples, imagine a little boy who's 5 or 6 and he plays with Barbie dolls and likes dressing up. Yeah. And the boys say to him, "Oh, you're a girl." And he comes home and says, "I'm a girl." Imagine if he has to be affirmed as a girl just because it might be transphobic or it might be... Yeah. Gender identity conversion therapy.
And parents have been told that, haven't they? They have actually been told, if you do not affirm this, your child will be unhappy. Your child, I mean, we talk, teenager will commit suicide. Parents have been terrified.
Fortunately, there are no data that suggests there's a suicide risk, no more than any other mental health issue. Yeah. But just so the other thing about children that young is they do not know that sex is permanent until they're about 8. And then you raise the point about teenage girls. There are so many reasons why teenage girls might be unhappy at the prospect of growing up to be a woman. We know that the vast majority of teenage girls referred to gender identity clinics are attracted to other girls. And maybe they're afraid of being lesbian, maybe they're, experiencing homophobia externally. But the idea that you have to tell that girl she's right, she really is a boy, and the pathway for her is medication and perhaps infertility. How is that a good thing? So we don't want that to be an obligation on therapists. They have to be able to explore with these people what's going on with them.
Absolutely. I mean, this is just common sense and sanity and kindness in that scenario as well. Fiona McAnena, you guys are at Fair Play for Sport. Fair Play for Women, sorry. You have been magnificent on this over the years and really appreciate you joining us this morning. Brendan Chilton, I mean, just a final quick word on that. The conversion therapy thing, this big LGBT conference that's been cancelled because loads of people have pulled out because they say this is transphobic because you can't, there's no ban on trans conversion therapy. I mean, they're quite wrong, aren't they?
They are wrong, Julia, and as a proper geezer, I'm delighted to see this debate moving on into a more sensible area. I think the overwhelming majority of people in this country don't subscribe to this weird use of language that we've seen over the past few years. They think it's bizarre, and, on this one, the Prime Minister is completely right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get the latest sport right now with Toby Guinness. I think we're just doing men's sport today, but who knows? There may be some women in there, but we know why not. Let's talk about some of the Champions League.